the game is to dish it out and not take it. And then when your career is over, take your money. These people don't give a f about these people don't give a f about us.
Oh man, you know how I get. They love you and then they hate you.
See me, they don't like me because I'm a straight shooter, and I was able to become my own boss.
The game is to give and not take. And when your career is over, people don't care about these people or about us. Oh man, you know how I get it, and they love you, but then they hate you when you see me because I'm gonna be a straight shooter. And
box, turn. The name of the game is boxing. The name of the game is not slugging, because when the fight game is over, when boxing is all over, and you hang it up like me, you still want to be able to have your faculties. You still want to be able to have your brain. That's more important than anything. The money. Your health is more important than anything. The name of the game is to hit and not get hit. And I was the best at doing it, and I'm going to continue to teach these young fighters. The name of the game is to...
I'm able to become my own supervisor in addition to revealing why he believes that Gervonta Davis's career is gone. Floyd Mayweather also said it forewarned Davis about the harsh reality of boxing, and that fighters need to prepare for life outside of the ring. The game's name is boxing, but it's not slugging because, like me, when a fight game is over and you hang up, you still want to be able to use your brain, which is more important than money and your health. The game's name is to hit and not get hit, and I was the best at it. I'm going to keep teaching these young fighters. Even though Davis is one of the most talented boxers of his generation, his problems have been a recurrent theme that has raised concerns about his long-term success.
Recently, Tank Davis decided to upload this on his Instagram. I'm not sure what's wrong with Tank Davis. I don't know what legal issues he's having because he has a hearing close. I'm not sure when the date is, but him and Floyd Mayweather have always had this weird relationship where sometimes Tank doesn't seem to be in good terms, and then sometimes they are in good terms. The energy is off. Let me know what you guys think that post means, what he's going through. I hope he's doing good, because we want him to fight, and we want him to fight really good opposition. So let me know what you guys think. What's going on with Tank?
Throughout his career, Davis has encountered numerous arrests and legal battles that have made headlines for incidents outside the ring. He has also had personal disagreements with prominent figures in the boxing world, such as Floyd Mayweather. These public feuds and controversies have frequently overshadowed his in-ring accomplishments, leading many to question his discipline and decision-making.
You know, so I don't want Tank to necessarily leave Mayweather. I think he's in this position because of everything that Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe have done for him. So I do want him to do what he is saying. Take control of your career. Say that you want Shakur and actually fight Shakur. Say that you want Devin and actually fight Devin. You know, fight these guys. Don't keep making new names. Like, you gave Barrios a chance. You gave Isaac a chance. Like, you know, Gamboa. Like, those aren't the fights that we want.
Tank lately, I'm not sure what's wrong with Tank Davis. And I'm not sure what legal issues he's dealing with because he has a hearing coming up, but he and Floyd Mayweather have always had this strange relationship where sometimes they don't seem to be on good terms and other times they are. The energy is off, so I'm curious what you guys think that post represents. I hope he's doing well because we want him to fight and we want him to face really good opposition.
As of 2024, the brand of Tank Davis is one of the most commercially and financially successful ones in all of boxing, standing shoulder to shoulder with Saul Canelo Alvarez. It's so successful, in fact, that a lot of people say that Tank's popularity outranks his actual achievements, pointing to several different instances where it seemed like Tank was avoiding the best competition in his weight class and getting preferential treatment based on who he is and who he's associated with.
So please share your thoughts. What is happening with Tank? Gaining control over his own career may have sounded like a wise option, but Davis's decision to leave Floyd Mayweather's promotion was one of the most contentious of his career. Many contend that Mayweather's background and advice may have improved Davis's ability to negotiate the boxing world. As a boxing legend, Mayweather was aware of the business side of the sport and had created his empire. Tank is in this position because of everything Mayweather and Lard Elby have done for him.
He said Tank,
he's still on the air?
He said Tank is...
Hey, yo, they did Max Kellerman dirty for real, but go ahead, bro.
He said Tank is overrated by people that don't know boxing, and he's underrated by people that do know boxing. And what he
That's
meant,
buzz.
What he meant by that
That's buzz.
is that,
I agree with that.
What he meant by that is that if you don't know boxing, you don't know who's Tank.
So I don't necessarily want him to quit Mayweather, but I do want him to follow his instructions. Take charge of your career and declare that you want to fight Shakur and that you want to fight Devin. You know, fight these guys and stop creating new names. For example, you gave Barrio a chance, you gave Isaac a chance, and you gave Gamboa a chance. Such fights aren't what we want in 2024. With an unbeaten record that cemented his status as a top-tier boxer,
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is one of the most overrated fighters in the sport of boxing right now, and not because of his skills, but because of his resume, and resume does matter. In my opinion, he's a victim of what I call Terrence Crawford syndrome, where you have a really bad promoter who only wants you to fight in promotion fighters who you know that they can 100% beat. If Tank Davis wants to be great, he's going to have to fight one of the other champions in the two divisions that he fights in, 135 pounds and 140 pounds. I'm going to list off all the champions in those divisions and tell you if I think he can beat them or not. So first we got the only other full champion in 135 pounds, Shakur Stevenson. If they fought, I think Tank has a good chance of maybe knocking him out in the later rounds. But if I had to bet my house on it, I would say Shakur Stevenson would beat him in a close decision, and it would end up probably being a boring fight. But I think Shakur has the skills to beat Tank Davis over a long 12-round fight. Now we have Subriel Matias, who's a scary Terminator-like fighter who gives up the early rounds to come on later and drown you in the later rounds. But he's very stiff, and he doesn't have very good footwork at all. I think Tank Davis will probably, box his face off for most of the 12 rounds. There might be some trouble in the late rounds, but if Tank can stay out of trouble, I think this is one of the few champions that he would beat, but I don't think he would fight him.
Gervonta Davis' career reached new heights as his performances in ring enthralled fans, and his popularity skyrocketed to previously unheard of heights. His star power was undeniable, and he was regarded as one of the most dominant fighters in his division. Standalone as of 2024, the Tank brand standing shoulder to shoulder with Canelo Alvarez, Davis is one of the most commercially and financially successful boxers in history.
For me, Tank Davis fighting a minus 1600 as your main event odds is crazy to me, dude. That's crazy. That underdog lived up to the hype. He ended up, overperforming. Lamont Roach, credit to him, all this other stuff. And it took some politics to keep Davis as champion. You ever see guys getting the referee their own fight? Dude, anybody else takes that knee, you're getting counted, bro. The referee, actually, his instinct, if you watch that, the referee's instinct was to count. If you notice, Steve Willis started counting, and then he looked at the timekeeper outside the ring, wasn't counting, and he stopped counting. So you get to call your own timeout. Earlier in the fight, if you saw that shoulder barge that Tank did to Roach in the clinch, he didn't get a warning, but Roach's reaction got the warning. This is the politics we're dealing with. You keep doing this, you're looking at short-term money and long-term destruction of a sport.
In fact, many claim that Tank's popularity surpasses his accomplishments, citing multiple instances in which it appeared that Tank was avoiding the best opponents in his weight class and receiving preferential treatment because of his identity and affiliations despite his success. Some boxing analysts and fans have criticized Davis, claiming that he is overrated, particularly among casual fans who may not fully comprehend the technical aspects of the sport. These fans have praised Davis's knockout power and flashy style.
The knockdown with Tank.
That was a knockdown, without a doubt. You can't spin it no other way. It's too clear. And I think the commission needs to do something about it because it can give me an incentive, anytime I'm not feeling good in a fight, take a knee.
Well, they said
and that's not a shot at Tank. I respect Tank and I like Tank a lot. But you can't do that shit.
They reversed the result of your fight.
Yeah.
Should they reverse the result of that fight as well?
Just depends. Like if that changes the whole fight, if that gives Roach a victory, give him the victory. That's how you keep the integrity of the sport, right? That's why they suspended me, right, to keep the integrity of the sport. So I feel like if you're gonna do it to me, you got to do it to everybody.
But skeptics point out that he does not consistently face the best competition in his division. Many people think that Davis's record is impressive on paper, but that he has not faced any real challenges from elite opponents, making his dominance somewhat misleading. He said, "Hey, Tank is Heya. They did Max see Dirty for real. But go ahead, buddy." He also said that people who don't know boxing overrate Tank.
So Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach goes to a majority decision draw, with Tank retaining his WBA lightweight title. Now, I did not score this fight a draw. I had it 7-5 to Lamont Roach. I thought he had the ring generalship and effective pressure. He was landing the jab and effective combinations. Tank, as usual, had a very low output, and he was relying on one big shot. I gave Roach the first 3 rounds, Tank the next 3 rounds, and then Roach 4 the last 6 rounds to win the fight. Not to mention, Tank did take a knee in the middle of the fight. By rule, that should have been considered a knockdown. Yes, it was to get his mouthpiece, and that's why they didn't rule it a knockdown. But anytime a fighter takes a knee, that's a knockdown. And that would have given Roach one more point to win the fight. Now, I'm sure they'll run it back. I mean, Lamar Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. He just had the fight of his life. He wasn't scared to go toe-to-toe with Tank. You know, landing his combinations, the bigger counters, and the more effective shots. He definitely deserves a second payday. Now, in the co-main event, Gary Antoine Russell put on an amazing performance. I think he won 11 or 12 rounds against Raya Valenzuela. Great hand speed, good combinations, you know, masterclass to win the WBA title. And then in the featured bout, Alberto Puello beat Sandor Martin to retain his WBC title. He landed the cleaner left hands, definitely won the last 2 to 3 rounds to edge the fight. But overall, good card. I do think Roach won the fight though.
While those who do know underrate him. What he meant by that, I agree with, is that if you don't know boxing, you don't know who the quality of Davis's opponents has been a key point of criticism. According to observers, his staff has meticulously chosen matches that favor him, avoiding the most dangerous opponents.
Davis. Let's take a look at what we thought was taking a knee.
And I thought it was.
The blinding jab.
Blinding jab.
Yeah, what's
looked at
wrong?
the ref. Something's wrong. He took a knee.
That's a knockdown.
That's a knockdown. You cannot take.
What is it?
Yeah.
What?
A tactic that is frequently used in boxing to preserve a fighter's marketability. Fans have been excited to watch Davis take on more difficult opponents, but many people think his resume lacks noteworthy victories over the top fighters in his division.
Well-being as well as your boxing progress, who you have been invested with from the outset. Tank has been with Coach Calvin Ford since he was, I think 8 or 9, which is crazy. And the relationship that those two have is an enormous factor. Tank trusts Coach Calvin to give him the right advice, and that has been proven to be a good position, a good place to put your trust, because as of yet he hasn't given any bad advice. He's very calm in the corner. He knows when to tell Tank to turn it up. He gives him understandable advice, and he gives him very simple advice in the corner. At the gym, he obviously works him hard. He gets the best out of him, and I think that's the kind of thing that you can't you can't oversell the value of that. You know, Bomac for Crawford is an example of this.